Why are you doing so much? Well, if I had a dollar for every time that I have heard that question, well, let's just say that I could buy my daughters a whole bunch of coffee. Now, from the outside, my calendar absolutely looks full. I have board meetings, teaching, presentations, coaching, writing, and of course, my main job, seeing patients. To most people, it looks like a recipe for burnout. And they might be right. But here is what I want to explore today. Doing more is not always the problem. Sometimes doing more of the right things is exactly what makes my career sustainable. And maybe it could be the same for you too. Hi there, I am Dr. Santina Wheat. I am a family physician, an educator, and a career and life coach who spent a lot of time talking with healthcare professionals about balance, purpose, and well being. And I will absolutely be the first to admit that I have made mistakes here. I said yes when I should have absolutely said no. I have taken on projects out of guilt or because I didn't want to disappoint someone, or even because I thought that it was the right thing to do in order to get ahead. And those choices left me drained. But over time, I've learned my lesson and a slightly different approach. I have learned that it is not about doing less or doing more. It is about doing what is most aligned. And that is what I want to unpack with you in this video. So let's be real. If you look at my calendar without context, you will probably say, wow, she is overcommitted. She's just trying to do it all. And without context, it's totally fair. And there have absolutely been times in my career when I was doing way too much for all of the wrong reasons. But I have a little bit of a nuance. Not everything that looks like it's extra really is. Some things look like extra tasks, but they are actually my lifelines. They are the things that keep me grounded and re energized when healthcare feels chaotic and unmanageable. So, yes, my schedule is full, but the difference is it is full of things that matter to me. And when you find that right alignment, that fullness is actually able to sustain you. So, why am I talking about this now? Well, I just got back from a great board meeting that reminded me of this important point. It was one more thing that I had to do during an already busy month. I had so many obligations that I was looking at. I was preparing for multiple presentations. I had writing deadlines, juggling my usual responsibilities. And oh, yeah, my girls just started school and we're trying to get their schedule straight. And honestly, when I looked at my calendar, I had this pit in my stomach of what was I thinking, saying yes to all of this. Not only that, but why did I apply for most of this? But then I actually walked into that meeting and so much shifted. I walked in and I was surrounded by friends and colleagues who cared deeply about the same issues that I care about. Some of those are supporting program directors, building sustainable residency programs, and preparing the next generation of family physicians and family physician leaders. We were not just talking about logistics, though there was a little bit of that. We were asking some big questions, though. What do our members really need? How can we deliver education and support that is actually useful right now? And what are the real challenges that leaders are facing on the ground? And in those conversations, I was reminded that I wasn't just showing up to a meeting, I was stepping into a community. And when I left feeling lighter, encouraged, and re energized. The problems with healthcare certainly didn't disappear. And while we were there, we heard some ones. But suddenly, I wasn't carrying them all alone. And that really makes all the difference. This experience was a perfect example for me of the difference between busyness and alignment. When you say yes to things that do not align with your values or your goals, then you feel scattered. You leave drained and wonder why you agreed to them in the first place. But when you say yes to the things that do align, well, the opposite happens. You leave energized and you feel connected. You remember why it is you do what you do and why you chose it in the first place. So the real question isn't, am I doing too much? The real question is, am I doing the right things? That shift in perspective changes everything because alignment, it transforms what looks like a heavy workload into something that is sustainable and meaningful. And here is something else that often gets overlooked, but is really important. Saying yes to aligned opportunities doesn't just help me, it helps everyone that I work with, and sometimes even my family. When I sit in those meetings, I don't just come back with action items. I also come back with ideas, strategies, and encouragement that I can share with my team. When you're a leader who feels fulfilled and supported, then you aren't just happier, you're better at leading. Leaders who are supported and fulfilled create a healthier environment for their teams because they pass on that sense of connection and perspective. And similarly, a family member who feels energized is going to interact in a different way at home. So when people ask me, why are you doing so much? My answer is, it's not just for me, it's for those who are around me. Happier, more connected leaders make a difference far beyond themselves. So I do want to be clear here. I am certainly not saying that you should say yes to everything. In fact, I've had to learn, admittedly, the hard way multiple times that not every opportunity is the right one. Just because I can do something doesn't mean that I should do it. So I've built in some guardrails that I want to share with you. Before I say yes, I pause and ask, does this align with my purpose? Will this add energy or will it drain it? Am I saying yes because I want to or because I feel guilty? And how will this affect the people closest to me? Sometimes the answer is yes, and it's okay. Sometimes the answer is no, and that's also okay. Saying no with intention is just as important, if not more important, than saying yes with intention. Because the truth is, a temporary busy season can be fine. It can even be energizing as long as it's a temporary stress and is filled with aligned work. But when you have chronic overload and when there's no space to breathe or to reflect, well, then that is a recipe for burnout. The guardrails that I just shared help keep me from slipping back into that. So here's where I want to turn the question back to you. When you look at your own calendar, what do you see? Is it just a collection of checkboxes? Is it things that you said yes to because you felt you had to, or that you think you need to get ahead? Or is it filled with things that align with your purpose, your goals, and your values? Maybe the issue isn't that you're doing too much. Maybe the issue is that you're not doing enough of the right things. So today, I encourage you to reflect. What's one commitment that truly fills your cup that you would never want to give up? Hold on to that one so tight. And the second is, what's one commitment that drains you that maybe it's time to let go of? Those two questions alone can start to shift how your schedule feels. So Why am I doing so much? Well, the truth is, I don't think I am. I'm doing what matters. And when you find alignment, when you say yes to the things that bring you joy and connect you with others and strengthen your work, it doesn't feel like too much. It feels like just enough. In a profession where burnout is so common and the chaos is so real, these purposeful commitments are not luxuries. They are lifelines. So the next time someone asks me why so much, I hope I'll smile and say, because this is how I stay whole, because this is how I stay here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this resonated with you, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. And share it with someone else who might need the reminder that doing more of the right things can actually be the key to staying balanced. And if you're looking for strategies to conquer your chaos and get to calm, then I hope you'll check out my website, www.santinowheat.com. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.